You're listening to Operation Self Reset. Where do you want to go? What is going on, you freaking awesome people? Welcome back to Operation Self Reset. My name is Jake Naraki, coming to you live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Today, we're going to be talking about the topic of where do you want to go? Now, if you know anything about personal development, you understand that there's goals and vision boards and a lot of thought process in designing your ideal life. And I think there is a lot of great things associated with that. I think there are a lot of great theories and ideas when it comes to planning out things, right? It's like you're going on vacation. Chances are you're not just going to go to the airport, look and see what airlines is going to any destination, and you're going to look at the time and you're going to go, okay, well, I'm here at 3 o'clock p.m. It looks like American Airlines has a flight to Delaware, or I should say maybe Boston, or Honolulu, LA, wherever. And are you just going to jump on that airplane and go there with no real plan, no game plan? Is that how you would spend your vacation? The thing that you've been waiting for a majority of the year, or thought of, or you finally have to utilize that vacation days before you lose them, whatever it is, chances are you don't. Nobody really goes to the airport and looks at the board of flights that are leaving and just randomly goes somewhere with no real plan. Some of you might. There are probably people that do, but I don't see that happening in my lifestyle. I don't see that possibly happening in yours. And so the question is, would you do the same with your life? Would you show up, or live, I should say, and just randomly start doing things? The answer is yes and no. Of course, the way that we are raised affects the way that we kind of develop into who we are. If you live with a free spirited parent or guardian or something like that, chances are you're going to have a free spirited kind of mental attitude. If you are regimented and you were raised by, say, somebody that was in the military or very structured, chances are you're going to have that type of lifestyle or at least that type of framework. And so the question isn't so much on how you were raised and who you are today, but the question is, where do you want to go? Now, when we start thinking about where do you want to go, it's a big question. It's a question that not a lot of people can answer. If I was to meet up with you and we grabbed ourselves a nice delicious cup of coffee or a delicious meal, and I was to say, where do you want to go in your life? Some of you may know where to go. Some of you might have an idea. Some of you might have an overall game plan that you want to get older, you want to accumulate more money, you want to pay off debt, maybe find a boyfriend or girlfriend, start a family, get a dog, travel, see the world, and be happy. I think that's a general guideline I think most people have when it comes to living on this planet. But the question is, where do you really want to go? When you start thinking about that question, it really starts to open the door of, am I really living to my full potential? Am I really organized? Do I really see myself moving ahead in life? Do the big questions really start to come to the top of the surface? It's almost like you're building a soup, right? And if you make a soup from scratch, a lot of the particles that aren't very delicious, like maybe parts of the skin of the chicken that you're boiling, maybe the skin of the carrot peels off and it floats to the top of the surface. Those particles aren't really delicious, but yet for some odd reason, when it comes to our life, we incorporate those poor pieces of the meal into our daily life. And so for me, I think of where do you want to go in three steps, or there's three possible outcomes that you could potentially go off of. Number one, you let life happen. Number two, you take control. And number three, well, we'll get to number three in a minute. Obviously, number one, let's start there. Let life happen. The free spirited, you don't really have a game plan. You don't know where you want to go. You kind of drift with life. As you progress as a human being, as you gain more information into your noggin, the output is going to direct you in different ways. Obviously, the reason why we all go to school is to learn things. We learn things about ourselves, we learn things about the world, so we can go out into the world and make decisions on where we personally want to go. Now, what I mean by making life happen is not so much just closing your eyes and walking aimlessly. It's understanding that you're just going to go with the flow. That you don't have a specific direction, but you know you want to advance as a human being. And is that okay? Is that fine? Yeah, totally. And there's going to be times that you're going to have a combination of both. You're going to have moments where you're just going to let life happen to you. And then there's going to be other times when you need to fully get back into control. And getting back into control is kind of a wake up call. It's kind of a moment of an awakening, a moment of being very present. It's a moment of being aware of your surroundings, of being aware of who you are. And there's a lot of great benefit in the world of personal development of taking control. So we kind of now segued into step or path number 2, which would be taking control. In the personal development realm, they talk a lot about goal setting. They talk a lot about vision boards. They talk a lot about setting manageable mile markers in your own personal life. And those are really good. I feel that having a structure, having control, having flags kind of put throughout your life to go to can assist you in your overall growth. And it's good. It really is good. And the reason why I'm kind of stuttering here and kind of pausing isn't because I think it's wrong, but I think that sometimes that if you choose to live the life of being 100% in control, that means you're going to have goals. And goals are obviously good, but sometimes you're going to set a goal where you're not going to be able to reach the goal. The goal might be to start a business in 5 years, and 5 years come, and you're still where you are today. Maybe the goal was to lose the weight, financially free, find a relationship, get a new job, travel, do whatever it is. And if you have a goal, usually you're going to put a time frame to it at some point. And when you reflect and you look at your time frame, you might see, oh my gosh, I did not reach this goal. And because of that, you're going to get frustrated, angry. You might have depression, anxiety. You might feel unfulfilled. You might feel disappointed. You might revert to poor habits and choices due to you not reaching the goal. And so the question is, what is the right way to live your life? If you want to go somewhere, how should you approach it? For me personally, well, because you're listening to this podcast and it's a one-way conversation, I can't listen to everything you guys are saying, but the idea is this. The control happen. The control happen is where people find the most enjoyment out of life, but yet are continuously growing, adapting, and moving forward. The control happen is where there's moments of true goal setting, and then there's moments of true pondering, moments of true relaxation, and true moments of just being you. And it's a weird space to be in. Now, early in my journey, starting this podcast, I was very dedicated. I set a lot of goals. I had a vision of where I wanted to be in X amount of years, of how many followers and blog posts and all that jazz. And right now, fast forward 5 years later from that moment of me wanting to be in control, I am truly 100% into path number 1, let life happen. I'm just going with the flow. Is it because I have 3 young boys and I know I want to be a good father? And so to do that, I can't be in full control because if you know anything about kids, you really can't plan anything too crazy because they'll throw you off of your path. And if you get thrown off your path, you might go crazy and irritated and obviously the whole gambit of different emotions. And so the question isn't so much of where you want to go, it's more the question of how do you want to handle your life? Do you want to be obsessed with goals and be kind of nailed down to that board and to see that board through, or would you rather go with the flow? It's a dilemma that we all face every single day. We have the choice. to go with the flow. We have the choice to take control. And obviously, there are moments you need to take control, as in when it comes time to pay your taxes or to show up to work or to go to that funeral or wedding or whatever it is. There's moments we take control. And then there's moments that we just go with the flow. Unfortunately, when we start going with the flow, we can see what happens. We start to get relaxed. We start to get a little lazy. We start to get a little distant on truly who we are. And as we know, this life isn't finite. There is an ending to it. It's going to be different for everybody involved. And so the question is, how do you want to live your life? It isn't so much this podcast is designed to teach you something. It's maybe designed to make you think. To make you think about yourself, your life, where you are, where you want to go, who you are, who you were. How did you get raised to how you are today? And it's a really interesting question. The question of passion and pushing and drive versus relaxation, love, and happiness and being quote unquote satisfied. It's a weird dilemma. Do you want to be wrapped up in all this stuff? I don't know. It's a really weird question. Reflecting on my own personal journey, I've pushed people out of the way to reach these goals. Was it the right thing to do? I don't know. I don't know. It fulfilled me. And in reality, at the end of the day, the path you choose is the path that you personally identify with. And because you identify with that path and because you choose that path for you, yes, I'm talking to you, obviously it is the right path. So go out there, live your life, do what you need to do, but remember that you do have multiple paths in your life. Go with the flow, take control, or the control happy, control happens, whatever you want to call it, it's up to you. It's a reminder that you're in full control, but the control doesn't have to be crazy. The control can be within its limits, within its moments, and most importantly, it's a choice that you choose. And what you choose is the right choice for you. And because other people may not be choosing that, it doesn't mean that your choice is the bad choice. It just means that your choice is yours. So, go out there, be strong in your choice. Be strong in who you are. And enjoy this thing called life. So with that being said, I appreciate you. I thank you. And until next time, be freaking awesome. Share a little bit of awesomeness with somebody that truly needs it. We'll catch you later.